No, I'm kidding. It's not from Fredericks. Dallas will tell you where this box is from.
These are, I purchased these. It was a seller on Mercari who had all these extremely rare Super Deluxe editions at half price, and I just couldn't resist. I mean, it was these Bob Dylan bootleg series. I mean, some of them, like in here, were released maybe 5, 10 years ago, and he had them cheaper than list price, still in shrink wrap. So that's crazy that you know, you can get them even cheaper than you could when they were first released, and they're even harder to find now than ever before.
Yeah, where does this guy get all these? I mean, it's the same vendor that he got all this stuff from.
Wow. Like, this is one. This is a really incredible bootleg series release. The complete basement tapes. This was listed when it first came out at $150, and didn't pay more than $60 for this one, plus gave me a little bit of a discount. So this is a really awesome one. You got the full 6 CDs remastered. It's still in shrink wrap. The shrink wrap's a little bit damaged, but you know, that's what savings.
Yeah, you're gonna open it anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares if the shrink wrap gets a little damaged? He's not gonna resell it.
That's awesome. Wow.
Let me put that over here.
Now, that's one of the first bootlegs was ever released, was a Basement Tapes issue.
Yeah, the Great White Wonder, was that what it was called?
Yeah, the Great White Wonder.
Yeah, that started off all those unauthorized recordings. The Great White Wonder, and then this is the complete Basement Tapes.
With the band.
It was with the band. It was recorded in Woodstock, New York.
That's really cool.
In a basement.
Now this one, I don't think many people have seen. This is an import. I believe a Japanese import. This was released on one Blu-ray in the UK and North America, but this is the 2 Blu-ray, 2 CD box set. I believe this goes for right around $100 on eBay, and this guy had it for $25. I mean, can you
Is this the one from Pompeii?
This is Pompeii.
I wonder what year that was recorded.
I believe this was either 2016 or 2017. Let's see. They don't say, but I believe this was the 2015-2016 tour, so I believe it's 2016 at Pompeii. He played there a lot. He loved playing. He played there with Pink Floyd, and he's done a lot of concerts since, but this seemed like a great show with the Super Deluxe. 2 Blu-rays. This one comes with, this thing that's special about this one is it comes with 2 bonus concert films, South America 2015 and Warclaw 2016. I don't believe it's the full show of either, but you get clips, and then you get 3 documentaries as well, tour documentaries.
Wow.
And David Gilmour Wild Horizons BBC documentary.
Blu-ray.
All on Blu-ray. This was not, this is very hard to find. This is a super limited deluxe edition.
Mercari, man, that's a good place to shop for rare, hard to find albums.
Really big one. Wow. This is Bob Dylan, Trouble No More. This is the 8 CD, the 8 CD and a DVD Super Deluxe. If you were to have pre-ordered this recording, or this box set, you would have gotten San Diego 78 as well. That is something that you should look into. I mean, it's now that's just that pre-order bonus goes for $300, wow. But that's more than the set is even worth. It's just the pre-order bonus. But this has the musical film, which is really quite bizarre. The Trouble No More film has, I believe it's an Oscar-winning actor or Oscar-nominated actor doing a preaching ceremony with interspersed Bob Dylan clips from this tour. It's quite a interesting movie. If you could check that one out, I think that they, I don't know where else they would have released it except for this. It was in theaters. I think it's Michael Shannon. It was in theaters and it was on this box set, but maybe it's
really they played it in theaters.
It was in theaters. It's a theatrical release.
I must have missed that.
Trouble No More, a musical film. This has on here. It has the original. I think was a 2-disc release. The regular release just has a 2 discs of live tracks. This has rare and unreleased outtakes, 2 discs of that, and also 2 full shows, live in Toronto 1980 and live in London 81, both soundboard. And nice book. This is I'm really excited to dive into this one.
Yeah, he Bob Dylan won Best Rock Vocalist for Gotta Serve Someone in 1980. And I remember him performing on the Grammys, and I was like, wow, this guy has an aura behind him, It was a powerful, powerful performance, which you can see on YouTube. What do we got coming up?
This is a Beach Boys title that I've never seen before. This was put out the 50th reunion. This is called Made in California. It features 6 CDs with 60 unreleased songs. This is I believe they're still pressing this, or they're going to press a new run of it. So if you'd like to get it, I wouldn't pay the eBay price. I would just buy it straight from thebeachboys.com. But this one was on Mercari. And it's really a cool album. You get live stuff, you get from the vaults, outtakes, studio home recordings, studio rehearsals. I mean, I'm a huge Beach Boys fan. This seems like a really great listen. We kind of modeled it after a yearbook. So I'm excited to check this
They
one
were
out.
selling the autograph version of this on eBay, but there were about maybe 7 or 8 vendors, and every single autograph looked exactly the same. It was
Exactly
all
the same.
positioned in the same place, same exact writing, signatures on them, and the weird thing about it, this was signed supposedly a year after
Right, because this
Brian
was
Wilson
released.
was thrown
this is
out of the group.
2012 tour, and that 2012 tour did not last very long before Brian Wilson and Al Jardine, they did a split there, and they each took separate bands. And this, apparently, they have about 7 or 8 vendors selling signed copies of this. This wasn't put out until 2013, late 2013, when Brian Wilson was in court against his cousin over the rights to who can perform as the Beach Boy.
So buyer beware, when you buy
Beware of all of those
autographs. When these people like send you their own self-proclaimed authentication, you got to wonder about. I like PSA, or what was the other one?
JSA, Beckett, all of those. At least you can
So
resell
third party,
them.
and they're third party. They're not like have something to gain for you to buy it. They're just authenticating it. It's not like the guy selling it is authenticating it. So be careful when fake autographs are a multi-billion-dollar industry, I believe, on eBay alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. It's the cheapest thing to create, and the highest return on investment. So
And these guys aren't even talented at forgeries. They sign Madonna's the same as Brian Wilson or whatever. It's just everybody has the same signature, and people, wow, look at that. But yeah, just a word to the wise: be careful with those buying those self-authenticated signatures of famous people.
This is the last one I got. This one I got for right around $30. This is the still sealed copy of Goat's Head Soup Super Deluxe. This has the original new stereo remix along with all rarities and alternative mixes. Has, for the first time since it was recorded 73 years ago, it's got Scarlet with Jimmy Page.
Wait, not that many years.
No,
1973.
was
Yeah,
released.
I'm starting to feel
Released
really
in
old. Oh
73.
my God, 1973.
That was
Okay.
So it's got, and as well as the Brussels Affair, which is a very heavily bootleg concert before its official release here.
That was one of the most famous unauthorized recordings from the Rolling Stones, the Brussels Affair. But you can get it remastered on the Super Deluxe. You don't have to buy it from some shady vendors out there.
Then it has the surround sound Blu-rays. So this is an interesting one. I always wondered if the Brussels concert was ever truncated, or if it really only was 1 disc worth of music. I wonder how long they played at the time.
So you're saying that
Do you think that they played only 1 CD, a little over an hour?
Yeah, that is kind of strange. But, I have this album from 72. Rolling Stones Live in New York, which is 1 CD. I don't know. Did they do shorter sets back
I guess
then?
because they
or-
did 2 sets in a night sometimes.
Oh,
They
they
did an
did the
early set and
early
a late
set and
set.
late set. Maybe they just, you could
Maybe they did only like an hour.
a little over an hour.
They say that that's what Paul McCartney says. He said that Bruce Springsteen ruined it for everybody because he did 3 hours. You can't go and do 1 hour after that. Or he did 5 hours on the River Tour almost.
Like, and then he did. I think the Grateful Dead did like what 5 hours at the Sphinx or something in
Yeah.
Egypt. Wasn't that they had a really long set, and that must have spurred Springsteen on or something. Springsteen has separation anxiety, and he has night fears, so he can't say goodnight very easily to his audience. He has to keep playing, but I think his band wants to go home. They're like, okay, Bruce, all right, that's enough. But he admitted that he does have a hard time separation from his audience.
I got some other Bob Dylan titles that are on sale right now on Amazon. They're about $50 off. I think they're still on sale. I would recommend everyone go pick them up if they haven't got them. This is 36 CDs from the 1966 tour. That's the famous tour when he went electric, got booed. It was called Judas. Was a lot of these shows on here had never been even bootlegged before. They were just sitting in a vault, and they made their first appearance here in one complete set. And this is only it is really discounted heavily on Amazon right now. I think they still have a lot of copies left, and it just seems like a great tour document. And you got the band on there, minus Levon Helm.
Levon Helm left that show early because they kept booing him, and he couldn't psychologically take it, all the booze, so he ended up working on an oil rig.
I feel like that would be more difficult than
I don't know. Yeah, my
with
self-esteem
Bob Dylan.
after playing with Bob Dylan and working on an
oil
rig. I don't know. They had to bring him back after that tour was over, and it's just he just couldn't take all that negative energy.
And this one, the 1974 tour document. This is 27 discs. This one was long out of print. It was extremely hard to find. It was a very limited print run. It's back on Amazon, and it is discounted. So I would really rush to pick this up before it goes out of print again. I know it's going to, because it was, being heavily scalped for like $250, $300 on eBay before. And then last month I saw it. I was like, I wanted it before. I'm not gonna get a chance to get it again. So it was time. The only downside to this set is that they cut all of the band songs off. All of the performances. They obviously they back Bob Dylan, but they would do a small little band set of maybe 5 or 6 songs each show, and they totally cut them out.
So we didn't know that when we ordered it. We thought, we're gonna get the whole concert with the band doing their sets. But it's just the band backing up Bob Dylan. So don't get rid of your unauthorized
releases.
1974
your copy
tour.
of Before the Flood is still good. You can't get rid of it, even though they have the complete Inglewood shows, which became Before the Flood, which is a combination of the 2 nights in the Inglewood Forum. You still need to keep it because you don't get the band songs on here. So it's very cool. It's a great tour. It's I really think that they just made such a great team, Bob Dylan and the band, and it's really a shame that they didn't keep all the band songs on there.
Yeah, and they kept this tour is one of the most sought after tours in history up until that point. They had over 1 million requests for tickets, and if you think about 8 years before, when it was the last time Dylan had toured in '66 and is being booed, and then they became the most sought after. I heard Robbie Robertson talking about it, how they started a musical revolution, but they were just so far ahead of the audience on that. It took about 8 years to catch up with it, but
yeah,
it's incredible recordings. And it's the Oakland Flood too. I remember having some of these recordings.
Yeah, the Oakland Flood. It has the Madison Square Garden was heavily bootlegged, but some of these shows didn't exist on the bootleg market as soundboard. They're making their first appearance ever. But you can't even find some of these even as audience recordings. They were so well hidden. Some of these shows are really appearing for the very first time ever on any release.
And I guess they professionally recorded a lot of the shows because they knew they were going to make the Before the Flood
live album, yeah.
So they just kept recording them, professionally on the soundboard, one after the other.
I really love these bootleg series from Bob Dylan. There's, I think, the most sought after one that even I won't even dare go and get, is so expensive, is if you can ever find the Cutting Edge, which was the one of the follow-ups to this one, I believe. The Cutting Edge Super Deluxe box set collector's edition is like 16 CDs. It was numbered, and that one is upwards of 1,000.
Well, what's on the Cutting Edge?
It's the outtakes from Highway 61 and Blonde on Blonde, which, I mean, that is really incredible. But come on, it's just insane.
And how many discs is that?
16 CDs.
I know I have a couple of these albums, like demos and things like that, but nothing close to 16
CDs. That one is the probably the pinnacle of the Bob Dylan bootleg series. It's just because the one that they put out, the standard, is only 2 discs, so it's quite an upgrade over the standard issue, but it's not. It's just so hard to come by. It's so expensive. This is another one that I picked up on Amazon. You can still pick it up. It is probably a gray market release, mostly audio, radio broadcasts. This is probably a European import. It's called Live in Session 63 to 69, and it's got 10 CDs for $35. I'd really, if you're a Stones fan and you want something really different, something out there, totally recommend this one.
Hey, it's our friend Pee-Pee. You got the bargain basement segment. Yeah, he did get these.
They're all on discount.
These are all discounted, guys, because before you start saying, oh my God, this is the wealthiest man in Los Angeles, he's a smart shopper, and that's how you stay wealthy. It's not how much you spend, but it's how much you save. So hit that bargain basement, and
these are definitely going to all hold their value too. It's like an investment, really. I mean, because this one, I mean, once it goes out of print again, it's going to shoot up in value. Because this one was really hard to find. It was pressed in such limited number. They don't do big print runs anymore for these albums, especially these deluxe box sets, now that they have all this streaming.
Yeah, so I remember the CD, the certificate of deposits, and for a long time they were like hardly yielding anything. But what was the good investment was the guilty pleasures, was these compact discs. They were going up much more in value than the CDs. So, and you invest in them and get a good fireproof safe if you live in the the canyon areas.
But going back to this one, it's got a lot of really cool shows. It's got some stuff from the Tammy Show, Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow.
It's got Ready, Steady, Go, the Poll Winners Contest. It's got a lot of different, it's got a little bit of full concerts. You get live in Olympia, Paris, 65. You get, the earliest thing on here is from the Saturday Club, October 26, 1963. That's pretty early.
1963.
The Stones formed in 62, so that's pretty.
It was right after Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys had their first debut album. Remember the Stones? We'll probably get a video on that alone, but this is like really cool, and you can get it on Amazon. It keeps popping up every time I go to Amazon. This album is heavily suggested. So.
I believe this is a European import. Yeah, it's a really cool one. And then this one is another European import, probably from the same label. This one I got really discounted because there's a little damage on the front. This one is 10 discs, 260 tracks, The Beatles. You get on, this is better than Anthology, really. You get the complete deck of tapes, the complete, some Cavern Club stuff. You get outtakes, Saturday Club, Pop Go the Beatles, Drop In, the Royal Variety Performance. That's a really very special show.
Was that with the Queen?
That's with the Queen. It's the Beatles. The Poll Winners, that was a cool bill. It had both the Stones and the Beatles.
So that was this same show on the other disc
as well. Yeah, they would do a poll amongst the British youth who was the best rock bands at the time, and then they would have a concert together, and the Beatles and the Stones both headlined. I think the Beatles obviously were the main headliner. This has the poll winners showed they won every year that they were nominated. They took it for about 3 years continuously, and it has Germany and Budokan all on 10 discs. This is really a complete package. Really picking up the slack for where the Beatles are not putting out enough content. Rock and roll music.
And again, what we want to see is the 27-minute version of
Helter Skelter. We want to see Carnival of Light, and we really want to see the complete Shea Stadium if it exists. The complete unedited 55-minute version. You know, you come in these little sleeves with all the tracks on the back, and they're really nice. The packaging is really great. I think this is also an Amazon release.
You think it's from Europe also?
It's also from Europe, yeah.
Yeah, when we went shopping in Europe a couple of years ago in Britain, you would just see all these radio broadcasts, you know, that stuff that they would just sell in regular record stores that you didn't always see in America. And I think the laws for radio broadcasts in Britain may be a little looser.
There's a loophole that if something is broadcast on public radio, it's free to sell on CD. So
everything's a radio
everything
broadcast.
becomes a radio broadcast. It doesn't
Even
matter.
if it's on TV, it's a radio broadcast.
Everything becomes a radio broadcast. It could have been broadcast on the radio. You know, who
knows? You know, I love one of these things. It doesn't tell where they're from. They just give you all these recordings, and who knows if they're from the radio or not, or you know, it's just.
Some of them are audience recordings, and I don't think they would, broadcast an audience recording on the radio. It's usually that they have something tapped into the soundboard. So for a lot of releases, most of them they use that loophole. So they press it in Europe, and then they ship them in mass to the U.S. to be sold on places like Amazon and eBay. So a lot of these are European imports. Actually, probably all of these gray market ones, and there's just so many on Amazon, different ones. There's a ton of Springsteen ones, where they have all of the Gora and Cleveland and all these different early Springsteen concert box sets, and it's really quite a treasure trove. I don't see how they continuously can get away with it, but happy to support it while it's still around. You're not going to find that for very long.
You think? You think they'll?
No, I think the loophole is probably pretty secure. I just think that they just will never make them in the U.S. It's just as long as they can continue to import them, they'll be sold here.
There's so many things coming out on Amazon, like albums that used to be really hard to find on CD, that are just mass produced. Do you have another live concert coming up soon at the Hollywood Bowl? Oh, the Who concert was really cool. We were thinking about maybe going out to Vegas to see McCartney in a couple weeks. That they're toying with the idea. I think Rod Stewart also is doing his final rock and roll shows.
Because he already did his final rock and roll shows. This is the encore performance.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to give up rock and roll, I think. I don't know why he has to do this.
It has to be the final something.
Anything.
I mean, the Who was like, I'll mention it again. I mean, I remember in 1982, which is 43 years ago, we thought that was it for the Who, So we're constantly just mourning, oh, this is it. Then they kept coming back, and this will be it. The thing about the Stones is that they never say this is the last show, but the audience says, you better go see it because it could be the last one. So it's just, but the Who has to keep saying that this is their last show.
I mean, they're fantastic. Really, I don't want them to go away. And it's...
I know, and it's so hard to watch it because every time you go, wow, I'm just going to be 2 hours of this, and then it's over forever.
It's always bittersweet. This is great, but this is going to be the end of the Who. It's sad.
I know, it's just too much. And then they said that they would possibly come back for some
special engagements.
Engagements
I think they'll always do their Teenage Cancer Trust concert at the Royal Albert Hall. I don't think they'll stop doing those anytime soon. And that's a once-a-year benefit, but aside from that, I don't know if they'll really be coming out to LA or all around the US. So it's if you can see them, they still have a couple more dates before they call it quits. I think October 1st in Palm Springs is gonna be the last.
Really? October.
Last.
What day of the week is that?
That's a deep one. It could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Palm Springs is going to be it for the Who,
Wednesday,
man.
I think it's Wednesday.
Wow. I would love to see that, but it's probably not going to be their final show. But you never know. I mean, with Tom Petty, he was saying he wasn't going to tour anymore, and he wasn't kidding. I mean,
Yeah.
after that Hollywood Bowl show,
the
what was it, 2017 or I think it was,
so,
yeah.
And that was also, a great show. I thought, oh, I missed it this time. I'll see him next time he comes around.
So yeah, seize the moment if you get a chance to see one of these legendary groups, and it's like, they still sound great even after all these years and abuse to their bodies and voices, and I don't know how they do it. Like we saw Steven Tyler, he came
Bowl, that was
back
yeah.
to the Bowl.
I think he's gonna come out and do one more show. I hope he does a farewell show.
He's just itching to get back together, and with Aerosmith, and they've got that song with Young Blood, which I could do without the Young Blood. Really, I don't know. I think they're just kind of trying to pull a younger audience. So they're doing a Tony Bennett, with Lady Gaga or something. But
at least he's in the same genre.
Yeah. But next thing you know, they'll be boxing up
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles and Britney Spears diss, you never know. A little bonus, I don't know what could be next, but I had a dream. I was so unsettling, this dream about finding a Britney Spears rare DVD with Don Rickles footage from the
horrifying.
60s. We saw Don Rickles' last performance, by the way, too. It's just sad. It's just sad. But, imagine if he didn't go. When are you going to see Don Rickles and Regis Philbin ever together? We saw him at the Saban Theater. That's right, in Beverly Hills.
He didn't really do any jokes. It was more of just like a retrospective about his career.
He would tell stories, about
hanging out with Sinatra.
Sinatra freaking out, throwing bottles of ketchup against the wall in the fancy Italian restaurants, and all these really cool stories. But it's. I know we're about out of time, but I've been looking at this action figure. I gotta bring this thing out.
This is another bargain we got at Target.
Look at this.
It was. This is a limited release. It only is a numbered release of 8,000 pieces of the Alice Cooper Paranormal. It was just sitting unpriced on a shelf at a Target. There was no price at all. We went to go check out. Didn't even show up in the system. I don't know if someone brought this from home and left it on the shelf or what happened.
Don't leave home without Alice.
They had to bring that with them. But they ended up giving it to us, $20, which is a lot cheaper than it lists for. So this is another really interesting, this is a 2017 figure also. I mean, it's so bizarre that this was sitting there on the shelf. Totally unpriced.
Yeah, I remember when they had the Alice Cooper one with the guillotine and everything at Toys R Us when my older son was younger. It's like such a grisly gift. Hey, would you like to play with the guillotine? It's like
yeah, they toned this down. They only have the boa constrictor around his neck. That's a little bit more mellow. Alice, man, he's also touring still. He's on the road still.
Yeah, he puts on a great show, and he always does. Like the last song is Another Brick in the Wall and School's Out. Yes, we like Foreigner. We
love Lou Gramm. Saw him a couple times.
Yeah, we saw Lou Gramm at the Saban, and then I also saw the regular Foreigner there, and
I never saw the Foreigner. I think really Lou Gramm is Foreigner. He's the real standout in that band. All the other musicians were great, but Lou Gramm had such an interesting, unique voice.
What was the name of the guitarist again? The original
Jones or something.
Something like that. Mick something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He was there, but he wasn't. He didn't play the whole Foreigner show. He would just come out like for the last 30 minutes or something, and then I don't think he played with them very much at all anymore. And then now the original
Graham came out and fronted Foreigner for a couple songs, and I don't know. I wish that they could just reunite and do something.
Yeah,
good.
now they're doing like Vegas shows, and
Whoa, that's cool.
yeah, that's cool. You got to see them in the '80s. That was during their heyday. I'm glad they finally got recognized at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I
Took
mean,
McCartney to get him in there.
I know. I mean, they have to make room for Biggie Smalls. And,
There's someone that's getting nominated this year that really is undeserving. Another rap.
don't you remember hearing Biggie Smalls on rock radio for so many years? They would just play Biggie Smalls music. And
Again, Styx is snubbed.
the Monkees, God forbid they could,
I know they didn't play their own instruments on their first couple albums, but did the Beach Boys play their own instruments on Pet Sounds?
No.
So at this point, it's just a moot argument. I mean, so what? They didn't play their own instruments on their first two albums. Big deal. I mean, that's the pinnacle of rock and roll television was the Monkees TV show. There's never been a show better than that, really. A music related show ever was that was the best one, was the Monkees.
Yeah,
TV
the
show.
comedy and
It's
music.
like the Hard Day's Night for television.
PP
I think I
said,
prefer the Monkees TV show to the Hard Day's Night. I may be blasphemous, but I
Yeah.
think it was a bit. It was just good. I mean, the music was. I mean, Hard Day's Night is a great film, but the black and white and it just was so much more whimsical with the Monkees.
yeah, they were the musical Marx Brothers, as John Lennon said. PP said that he's from Rochester, New York. Hey, Rochester. That was Jack Benny's male maid servant. Rochester. Do you guys like America? They're from out here.
America, that's a good.
They're
yeah,
from
that's good.
California, yeah.
They were.
George Martin
George
produced
Martin
them.
produced
Yeah,
them,
they were when he worked on an album, it was good, and
Yeah.
America, Horse with No Name,
Ventura Highway.
Yeah, that was good stuff, and but yeah, the sound of California, man. It's a lot of great music, a lot of, out here and also up back east. But you said that Luke Graham's studio was in Rochester, New York. I didn't know that. We got some pictures with Lou. Even after we took the pictures, it was taking too long. So no more pictures. You can't.
But he was nice.
Yeah.
He was out there signing autographs for everybody after the show. I mean, that is pretty unique. Usually, they don't.
Yeah,
Artists just want to go home.
exactly.
Or they're done.
They'll maybe sell some autographs
Signed
that
stuff.
they pre-signed
But
or
he
whatever.
came out and he signed and took some pictures with people. That I thought was really special. He was,
And we saw